again, thank you all for attending tonight. Oops, I'm just trying to clear my screen here. And I'll just minimize that as well. Okay, so I am David McMahon, the CEO of OcuSci. And OcuSci has been around since 2011 and focused, almost solely on dry eye. Got thousands of patients around the world using our products and hundreds of clinics stocking them as well. We've got multiple published studies and patents on our dry eye products. I've got a new study that's submitted for publication on the MGRX, which we're going to talk about today. And I've been at this for quite a while. So this is my 9th FDA device that I've developed with teams and various companies. So, and we'll get into all that. Let me just see how I can let these people in. There we go. Okay, so let's move on here. Whoops. So OcuSci, we've got a full continuum of dry eye care products. So, oops, geez. Sorry about that. This is the MGRX, which we're going to talk about in detail, and Dr. Newton's going to cover as well. But we've got really, best-in-class triglyceride omega-3 sourced in Alaska. We've got an excellent AREDS 2 product that not only has the complete AREDS 2, but also really the only one that also has the same omega-3 that we use, sourced wild caught in Alaska. And we have what I think is the world's best dry eye compress, and I'll tell you about that. And then this new USB powered compress as well, which is becoming very popular, kind of for its for the convenience of being able to power it with USB. So I'm going to take you through briefly these products, about 15 minutes to cover kind of the omegas and the compress and one of our published studies, and then talk about the MGRX, take you through a little video so you kind of understand how it works, and then we're going to let Dr. Newton give us his case study presentation. Okay, so when you talk about a dry eye compress, what is the goal? It's really to facilitate the secretion of meibum and to increase vascular flow to that tissue to help bring down that inflammation. And, it's been shown many times that washcloths do not work. And it's also been shown that you really need temperatures of greater than 40 C to help open up those glands. And in fact, there's even more research that says 41.5 C, pretty exact, is the best, says here maximum, but really the optimal melting of meibum. Interesting study from 2019. So, what's different about our compress? You probably have all seen and are using compresses. I see many names I recognize on here that are probably using ours. So what's different about ours? If you're using a Brooder, if you're using another product, you're going to notice a couple things. One, ours weighs about twice as much as a Brooder. They really cut kind of their fill over the years as they've been bought out by several different companies. What does that mean? Well, that means that we're actually delivering more moisture for longer. So the magic minerals in there that pull moisture out of the air, we've got twice the volume. So it's giving back moisture for 10 minutes. So if you've got 95% humidity, and moisture really does matter. There's some good data that shows moist heat is much more impactful in increasing blood flow. So that's a fact that helps our product deliver better therapy. Just more comfortable, several features, the silicone nose piece, silver antimicrobial, the machine washable cover, of course, but this hydro block, this is another feature that's a patented feature. that is a waterproof coating on the front of our compress cover. And what that does is it blocks the heat and steam from escaping out the front, and it sends it back to the patient's eyes. So just another reason, how ours works differently than others, and really is superior in terms of delivering the heat and moisture. And I'm going to show you, this is some new, sort of just kind of blocked my screen there. But this is, heat therapy. So we've used thermography, so a thermographic camera. And what we're showing here is that 3 minutes of use with our compress raises the eyelid temperature, and the meibomian glands are in the lid margin by almost 8 degrees after 3 minutes, and gets you to those temperatures that you need to really treat the meibum and get it to melt. So here you can see this first picture. This is, what is, basically the status of the temperature of your eyelids prior to treatment. Using our compress, it's about 120 degrees. Putting that on for 3 minutes, and then taking that off immediately after, you can see the lid temperature is 106.7. Now, this is coincidence that that's the exact temperature, but that is what was reported in this interesting study by Borschmann, that is the optimal temperature to melt meibum. I'd like to say we were that smart to have figured that out, but I can't take credit for that. I think I need to let somebody in here to, yeah, there we go. Just let them in. Okay. So yeah, so I mean, this is really proof that's in the pudding here. You can see that temperature. And then here's just another way to look at it. This is our compress over 10 minutes. And this blue line is the relative humidity. So as you can see, 10 minutes. And this is one of our very well-known competitors that I just spoke about. You just have less mass. You're just not going to be able to put out that moisture. The mineral just doesn't have the volume in there. And then you can see the temperature of the compress as well in red, really stays at that temperature that we just discussed. So, all this just to show that this compress really delivers on what is needed for the therapy. And then here's that quote: moist heat increased blood flow 35% more than dry heat of the same temperature. And that's a study as well. And lastly, on the compress, so what does all this mean for measurements that we know? So here's just a little case study. 5 minutes of treatment, 5 minutes a day, took first tier breakup time from less than 6 to almost 13 with 5 minutes of use for 5 days using our compress, and average tier breakup time almost to 20. So many ways to look at it, but the bottom line is just really works. Machine washable cover. We're also the only product that you can put your logo right on our compress, and we offer a 1-year warranty for your patients as well. Oops. And then I lied. There's one more slide. Cold therapy works really well with our compress as well. So put it in a plastic Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer for an hour. Again, you're about 99 degrees to start with. You can see the compress after an hour is about 36 degrees. And because of the beads and the way that it conforms to the face, you really are getting that cold applied to the eyelids. And you can see here that we're achieving around 70 degrees. So it's almost it's a 29-degree decrease in the lid temperature. So inflammation, allergies, feels really good. And last on compresses, this is our USB powered compress. And again, just convenient, use it anywhere, use it traveling, use it at your desk. Still has the nice machine washable cover with the antimicrobial, very convenient. A lot of patients have both. They use the moist compress at home in their nice clean microwaves when they don't want to use, put that in the dirty work microwave. So they use this at work just to give themselves a little relief, 3 to 5 minutes, and you'll really feel that difference. Okay, so moving on to the omegas and the compress. So this is a study we published a few years ago. So using our ultra dry ITG, so Alaskan wild caught omega-3 plus lutein plus D3, 3 soft gels a day gets you about 2,000 milligrams of triglyceride omega-3, 5 minutes a day using the compress. And we looked at baseline and then post 30 days of that protocol. See if I can go the right way. No, still can't. So the results were quite impressive. So using OSDI baseline, you can see these patients were, almost severe dry eye sufferers. After 30 days of this protocol, a 49% decrease in the OSDI score. And on top of that, 100% of patients had improvement in that study. So you just don't see that. So we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. We know that patients are going to see a benefit from this protocol. And then just one other way to look at this is tear breakup time as well. And you're all familiar with this. So you can see, again, these patients were pretty severe. 3-second average tear breakup time, almost doubled in 30 days, 81% increase. So pretty impressive results there for a pretty easy protocol. Oh, and I should say no fishy burps with our omega-3. And that has to do with the way that they're produced. It's triglyceride, but also how it's controlled and not oxidated. All right, so moving on to the MGRX. So what is the MGRX? So it's an all-in-one solution for meibomian gland dysfunction, no disposables, which is key, obviously. You can do multiple treatments with one device. It's 5 to 10 minutes of clinician time total. We would expect that you would have ROI in 20 to 30 patients. 4-year warranty, pretty simple, pretty straightforward, not a lot to go wrong on this device. So just to get familiar with what the parts of the device are, this you'll see in this next video I'm going to show you. This is a preheater, and the only purpose of that is to preheat these 3 different instruments that we're going to use. The handheld device, of course, is lithium-ion powered, has a heater in it, and all we're doing with the preheater is saving battery and saving your time. Because if we didn't have the preheater, you could use the device by itself, but it's going to take you 3-4 minutes to heat up these instruments to 110 to 113 as the treatment temperatures, and there's just really no reason to do it. So we created this preheater such that now switching times are more like 45 seconds to switch instruments and get it up to speed, up to temperature, I should say. And each of these instruments are autoclavable. You can sterilize them using alcohol, whatever your current method is that you would treat any surgical or stainless steel instrument, you can do with these instruments as well. And the 3 steps I'm going to take you through here in this video, thermal debridement. So you're all familiar with debridement. We've added heat to debridement. So what does that do? So, what the feedback I get from clinicians, I can use less pressure. I'm melting, the caps off the glands. That's the feedback that we're getting. So pretty easy, pretty quick, less than 2 minutes. Up to you. Maybe you'd have your tech do this, maybe you wouldn't. It's really kind of up to you and maybe the laws of your state. I'm not sure how each state would handle that. The thermal lid massage, definitely have your tech do this. It's 2 minutes per eye, using ultrasound gel, applying heat, light pressure. You're all familiar with that idea. And this is, all using heat and light pressure to get ready for thermal expression. So now we go in with an expressor that is heated, external paddle only, external to the eyelid, and you are going to use controlled pressure, so it's not excessive pressure, doesn't hurt, and you're going to be able to express those glands very easily. So the treatment itself, the whole protocol is very comfortable. I've had it done twice. I'm ready for a 3rd one. So whoever wants to give me that one out there in the audience, I'm happy to come by. So let's go ahead and look at each step. We're just going to kind of give you hit the highlights here. This is our in-service video, so it's about 7 minutes long. We're not going to watch the whole thing. Don't worry. So I'll turn down the music here. You kind of So you've kind of heard me talk about this already, so I'm going to go ahead and skip forward here. I didn't want to skip that far. So here we are loading the first instrument. That's the debridement instrument. And it's just a double click of the control button that says, yep, I've loaded the instrument. And then it's going to take about 45 seconds for the device to check temperature, assuming you're using the preheater and it's heated for 5 minutes or so, it's going to be ready to go. What you just saw there were some anesthetic drops, for this treatment. And you can see he's just using light pressure and just scraping off the biofilm and kind of decapping those glands. Just pulling down the lower lid now, pretty easy access there. And the temperature of that instrument is 42 C. Okay, so now we're going to the second step, which is thermal massage. Again, loading the instrument, just double clicking it, saying we're ready to go. Now this one, we are going to put some ultrasound gel on the tip just to help with heat transfer and decrease friction. It does have a 2-minute timer built in, so you just press and hold the mode button, you're going to get a 2-minute timer. Again, this is very comfortable. Patients typically love this step, and I have to say, I actually love debridement. I didn't think I would, but I really did. It felt really good. Just a tip came up there in terms of battery life. You should be able to get two treatments, so 2 patients on 1 charge. If you're planning to do a whole bunch in a row, you can plug in the instrument while you're doing massage. As you can see, it's not fine motor control. The lid is closed. So you could have that plugged in, and that way you're saving battery, and you'd probably get another patient out of it. So we'll go ahead and move on here to expression. So we're just he's gonna go ahead and load that instrument as well. And we're gonna apply the anesthetic drops again. It's been 6 or 7 minutes maybe since the first drops went in. So you can access both the upper lid. So he's just kind of pulling up the lid there. And depress and hold. The pressure is controlled, so you can't put more than about 10 PSI on that eyelid. It locks out such that you can't exceed that. And you can see the angle of those paddles. So he just switched it now. So he's doing the lower lid. He's got easy access to the lower lid. And then for the upper lid, you would just flip the device around, and the angle would be correct for that as well. And here you're going to see some pretty good expression, because we've debrided, we've massaged, and again, we're keeping heat on that right there. So that is pretty much it in terms of the 3 steps. As you can see, whoops, that is not a whole lot of in-servicing, new learning required to use the MGRX.